Question 1, write down what A and C are. Shh. A is 3 minus 2. And C is 0, 1. Shh. Everybody on board so far? Okay. Let's move on to the next page. Okay. B, D, and E are 3 more points. Plot B on the previous page. Well, B is 4 across and 3 up. So that makes that B. All cool so far? Okay, let's keep going. A, B, C, D is a parallelogram. Use this information to plot and label the point D. So it's A, B, C, D. So it's A linking onto B, B linking onto C, and C has to link onto what? D. Where do you think D should be? Okay, think about it this way. How'd you get from B down to A? You go 5 blocks down and 1 block across. So do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minus 4 actually. 1 block across. I think that's the parallelogram. If you want, I can cheat using my software because I can basically do a clone of that line. Has to be the same length as the other side. Everybody see that? And that one has to be the same length as that one. So what is the point D? Minus 1 minus 4. Now. Done. I plotted it. C is the midpoint of A to E. Well, guys, C is the midpoint of A to E. Well, that isn't too bad, actually, because look at this. What I can do is I draw the length of this line, yeah? And I do the same distance out the other side. And that will make it the... I know you guys obviously haven't got the software to do this, right? So how would you guys do it? For me, the answer is minus 3, 4. Because that makes C the midpoint of A to E. Now, exactly, you don't need no software. Here's why. You ready? How'd you go from A to C? You go 3 blocks up and how many blocks to the left? 3 blocks up and 3 blocks to the left. Do the same thing again. 3 blocks up, 3 blocks to the left. And you'll discover what E is quite quickly. It's minus 3 and 4. Okay, what do we say C was again? Minus 3, 4. Okay, is that the end of that? There's nothing left. Okay, we're all going on to not that one. Now, okay, work out the angle correct to the nearest degree. If you're ever asked to work out an angle in trigonometry, you have to use the cos inverse. If it's cos, you use the cos inverse button. If it's sine, you use the sine inverse button. And if it's tan, you use the tan inverse button. And you do cos inverse 0.27. But there's a small check you have to do before you begin. At the top of your calculator, what you guys need to look at is you need to look at a small letter at the very top. Alright, and currently on my calculator, it says R. And that means everything I do is going to be wrong. I don't want it to be R. I want it to say D. D for degrees. Is anybody else in a similar boat to me that your calculator says R instead of D? Okay. 2 ways of fixing this. Method number 1. Settings. Calc settings. Angle unit. Degrees, please. Done. Now it says D instead of R. Now I'm going to do the following. I'm going to press Shift cos inverse 0.27. And that will tell me what angle they're looking for. What did everybody get? And to the nearest degree? 74 degrees. Yes. Next thing. You're given a diagram here, okay? And this diagram is pretty important. So, Some of you might be thinking, I actually see two right angle triangles, and let me explain what I'm saying. Does everybody see this? Whoa, we'll use a different color. Does everybody see this triangle here? With the green, see the green one? You see the green one? I'm going to draw the green one over here really quickly. And the green one is 27 degrees. It has a bottom of 23. And it has a height of B to C. Is everybody okay with that? Then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to change this up a little bit. I'm going to move it up to here. I'm going to move it up to here. And this here will be my, if I can actually manage to click this here will be my red triangle now. Everybody see the red triangle? Okay. Now, if I was to draw out the red triangle, what do you think its size would be? 29 degrees in height and 29 degrees in height, still 23 at the bottom. And now it's not CB anymore, it's CD. Which one's taller, CB or CD? Oh, sorry, BC or BD? Would you all agree BD is higher? So, if we call... Sorry, I got that mixed up there. That should be a B. That's a B. And this one here, it's a C. So, yes. And it's 22 degrees for the first one, not 27. Thank you. We all good now? Okay. The goal of my question is, I'm going to call BC X and I'm going to call BD Y. I'm going to calculate the value of X. Then I'm going to calculate the value of Y. And if I take them away from each other, what should I get? What's the difference in their size? The H value. You okay there, sir? The difference in height is the H value. So, what we're going to have to do is, we remember this rhyme from last year, I hope. Silly old Harry chased a horse through our attic. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tan is opposite over adjacent. Now, what do we remember what each one stands for? The angle 22 looks at what? The X, which is the longest side in the triangle is the, which means the other one is the. What function should I use and why? Should I use sine, opposite and hypotenuse? No, because I'm not using hypotenuse. Should I use cos, adjacent and hypotenuse? No. What option's left over? Tan. Tan, the angle is 22 degrees. It equals opposite divided by adjacent, right? So it's going to be X over, anybody? X over 23. Yeah. And what about the other triangle? Tan 29 equals tan. Tan 29 is what, guys? Y over 23. Now, the goal of the question is to get the X on its own, and you want to get the Y on its own. How'd you do that? The X on its own and the Y on its own. What? No, 23 is division on the right, which means when it moves to the left, 23 tan 22. What's Y equal to? 23. Okay, you got to put them into your calculator and figure out what they are. So you're going to do 23 tan 22. 9.29. 9.29. And then we're expecting Y to be larger because it was in the larger triangle. So what do we take? 23 tan 29. 12.75. What's the difference in height between the two of them? 12.75 take away 9.29. So what you say? 3.46 if I put the format into decimal. 3.46. So it's 3.46 meters. Okay.